Hey, yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Thanks for tuning in. On this episode, I am driving my T-10 Tier 9 Russian heavy tank. In a 357 on Fisherman's Bay, I'm platooned with Natso, and we're actually facing off against another two heavies, the WZ-111 1-4 platoon on the other side. Pretty good setup for us. Two Tier 9s and a 357 platoon is going to be a pretty good day if we can at least avoid getting jumped all over by the smaller tanks. So we had a quick conversation as we loaded into this on Fisherman's Bay and decided we were going to actually go down over onto the 1-2 line. Now the T-10 is a tank that leads to a tank that doesn't exist right now. So you can start to build up XP on the T-10. Remember that if you've elited it and you've clicked, put whatever it's called there, where you put all the experience onto the crew members, you need to unclick that so that it will start banking experience. That way when you have that new Tier 10 show up, you'll be able to unlock it quickly. You'll see that I got spotted there. I actually take a close line, and Natso is going to fade a little bit further back. This tank is quite quick. It's a heavium, if you will. It's more of like a medium than a heavy at times. Can keep up with the mediums, and that's part of the decision making for us going over on the 1-2 line. The Conqueror, on the other hand, is a little bit slower. It was actually a bit faster before, but it's a little bit slower, but it's got good gun depression. So when he shows up here finally and gets up to about the G1 area or so, he's going to find himself able to go hold down and do quite a bit of damage. Now, I fully expect the WZ-111s to go on the 8-9 line. It is possible they will come over to the 1-2, but I'm not too worried about that. If they do, then we've met strength with strength. We have to clean up on the 1-2 line quickly here on Fisherman's Bay and then swing back if their heavies go down into the 8-9 line. And you can see that an entire flank has basically been left open. The question then becomes, how fast can we win our side and get back, and how fast can they win their side and get back? You can see that the 1357F gets up pretty quickly. I'm just going to charge on up here, take a shot as I go. Let me show you what I'm doing with my camera there. And this 100 M1 dude is sitting there. We got an SU-152. Now I was going to do a review on the T-10 because it is going to be a tank that people are going to start grinding, even though it's been around in the game quite a bit. Make a mistake coming across here and just take a hit I really didn't need to take. I knew there was going to be a lot of tanks back there. But because the new maps and the HD upgrade, which I believe is probably going to change the meta on some of the maps, if not the entire game, and I don't think the entire game will be changed too much, but it's possible that some significant things will change. I'm going to go ahead and not do the... See if I can get this shot here. Yeah, I end up missing that shot. I'm going to go ahead and not do the review on the T-10 until the HD upgrade 1.0 comes out. So I've given up some hit points here that I didn't really need to give up, but I'm now getting some of my helpers back here. And this is a good example of passive players and how they can really be bamboozled if you get up in their face and they're not in just strong, really strong, good positions. Now I'm running about a 350, 400 ping. You might have noticed right there. My son was downloading some Steam stuff, even though he told me multiple times, "Dad, I'm not doing it." Yeah, you are, buddy. So I'm working with this as best I can. You can see right in this part of the fight, it actually stops and we get down to a 40 millisecond and we're starting to do some work. Now, for those of you who can run in Unicum stats and do really well with 300, 400 pings, good on you. Holy cow, that would drive me absolutely crazy. But you can see that now as we're looking at the map. We have cleaned up back here on the west side, and the east side got rolled, which we kind of knew. The good news is, though, while the east side got rolled, we only lost a couple tanks. In fact, I don't even know if we lost any over there. They just sort of pushed through. The Tiger II kind of kept them busy over there. Their artillery went down. Quite frankly, I don't know how that happened. Oh, yeah, that's right. I just killed them. I just killed their artillery, which is helpful. And now you'll see that most of the team is following me back here, and this is what's nice about this fast tank, is it can go ahead and get through these kind of fast pushes and reactionary pushes where we won the flank and now I'm headed back. You see that my ping's now spiking back up to 250 or so because Steam is relentless. It seems like if you tell it to stop on one update that it will just jump to the next one. So you kind of have to cycle through all of them, which I did not really realize. And so we've come back to the middle, and we're dealing with these guys. The WZs are still dangerous. I've got to watch out for them. Got an IS right there that I can go ahead and take down. And so far, pretty proud of myself. I've avoided pushing number 2, but I'm going to change that here pretty soon when I'm starting to deal with these WZs. Put a shot into his side, and so that's a good armor profile to hit. He let me do that, but this other one, this Defender and this other WZ will start putting their front armor to me, and I'll have a little bit more trouble going through there. And you can see that the rate of fire on this thing is actually pretty good. So fast tank, decent armor, pretty good rate of fire. See if I can get a shot into there. No, that doesn't work out. And there's not much left, right? This is cleanup on aisle 2. So I'm actually just going to drive across this. Well, I do need to be a little careful. I don't want to go straight across the flat. So I duck down below this little ridge right here. Realize this map is going to flatten out quite a bit with the HD upgrade, and that's one of those. This is one of those maps that may actually change considerably how it's played. They're going to flatten out that ridge line back behind me where the town is, and that's going to make some of the hold down positions up there a little less useful potentially. We'll see how much other cover's around. That's kind of the idea, I think. So we got the rain, and I having a hard time with my ping getting it on. I'm gonna finally do that, so to speak. And I'm dealing with both these clowns right here, but I'm just pushing in. All I want here is a few more hit points, and if they kill me, so be it. We'll deal with that later. Another hit from him. Defender's gonna get a shot at me. Is he gonna kill me? Oh, he got me. Took me out with the AP shot. Down he goes, down his buddy goes, and we're sitting at 4,831 damage. After a fairly slow start, I believe this ends up being an ace smasher. We'll take a look at the details afterwards. This was really interesting game to me, and one of the reasons I brought it here is obviously it's a pretty good game. Not, you know, it's not an 8,000 damage game or anything where you go, wow, that was the most amazing game ever. But it was interesting because we really pushed hard down on that west side, and we drug a lot of guys with us. Do you see how a lot of the team just sort of followed with us and lemming trained? And that did definitely leave the city as a problem on the flank, but we pushed hard enough, and both Natso and I knew this, we pushed hard enough on the west side to just get in their face and kill them and then turn around, right? So when I got there and I knew the WZs weren't around, I figured just about anything else they had we could handle pretty quickly. Meanwhile, what usually happens over in the town? Think about that. Well, usually it's a lot of kind of sitting there and looking down that road on about the 8 line or so, and people in the bushes there hiding behind buildings and kind of maybe side scraping and saying, all right, what do we got going on here? You know, I don't want to get wrecked, get shot by 5 guys I can't see, what's going on? Now, eventually they did figure out there was nothing there and they pushed into it, but they really sort of had to E&E their way through those buildings. And when you saw that we had won our flank and they had won their flank, well, they won their flank by not killing anybody, right? They kind of slowly moved through it. We wiped out a third to maybe a half of their team over on the other side and then swung back. And that's where the next interesting thing that happened, as far as I'm concerned on this map, is they pretty much all followed me back. They all went back and said, yep, that's where the hit points. Look, there's nobody down on the cap. If anyone went down there may have been 1 or 2 and they're dead, but I don't know. I don't remember. Take a look at the replay yourself. But if it was 1 or 2 guys and it just didn't matter. I mean, even the Black Prince trundled all the way back over and started working on the east side. So there you have it, a T-10 Ace Mastery. This is a good tank. It's a good grind if you're looking to position yourself for that tier 10 when it comes out. And I'm just kind of slowly doing it since it hasn't even been announced yet. I'm just every day I play it once or twice, do the double on it, and I'll just slowly add up the experience so that when the tier 10 comes out, I can just unlock it immediately right there. Remember, you can also be doing that with the 430 version 2, the rear turreted one that also does not have currently a tier 10 on it. Last thing on this is, remember when this thing was the IS-8? Anybody that old? It used to be called the IS-8. Now it's the T-10. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. As always, keep it coming. If you need any videos reviewed or gameplay reviewed, go ahead and send it to me. Break. That's going to slow down for the next about 2 or 3 weeks. So once we get to the HD and 1.0 comes out, I'm guessing that the replay function won't work with the older files, and it won't be really worth looking at anyway because you're going to be on a completely different map. So yes, I could talk about individual tank stuff, but even that, I don't know. I want to get into that HD map 1.0 version of the game and actually play in pub matches before I start pontificating about what may or may not change. So at that break point then, when the new videos start coming in, I'll start doing some more of the analysis. So I'm really going to slow down. You may see a lot more of my own videos along here that I just kind of chat and maybe get a little nostalgic about the old World of Tanks as we see the new ones start to roll in. All right, y'all, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, thanks for the support, and we will see you.